And we are back at Harding Stadium, set for the opening kickoff between Steubenville Big Red and Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Big Red in the black jerseys, the red pants. Cuyahoga Valley in the white uniforms with the blue trim. Brennan Stover with the boot, and we are underway. Field it at the 20-yard line, and Cuyahoga Valley gets it out to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Royals will set up shop to start things off tonight. Opening round, Ohio Division IV. Region 13 playoff action between Steubenville Big Red and Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. The Royals come in with a record of 9-1. As we take a look at, well, those are Beaver local starters from earlier in the season. As we take a look at Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy breaking the huddle. Jacob Hay, your quarterback. He's up under center. And there's the handoff. Not much doing there. Jarrett Kuzar. And they run the ball quite a bit. Cuyahoga has a team nearly 3,000 yards rushing on the season. Kuzar has run for 847 yards and 13 touchdowns. John Pettigrew leads the way with nearly 1,800 yards and 17 touchdowns. The Big Red defense, Montgomery, Dugan, Owens, and Gregory in the line. Banks, Osman, and Markakis. Bronco Busick, and the linebackers Jackson, Davis, Gossett, and Gilbert, the secondary. So Markakis, Busick, those linebackers. There's the handoff for the Royals. And they get it out to the 38-yard line.
That's their top rusher, John Pettigrew, number 28. He'll line up at a different position, either as a right or a left halfback. So far, what Cuyahoga Valley is showing, Don, is a wing T formation, a split end one way, a wing back the other way. And so you're going to see a lot of off-tackle stuff, a lot of inside traps, a lot of outside traps. And we'll see what Big Red can do here on third and about 3.
Handoff going top side, trying to turn the corner is Pettigrew, and he lowers his shoulder. He gets the first down out to the 46-yard line.
I tell you, he's a nice, smooth runner, good speed. That play is designed to go off tackle. There was nothing there. He bounced it to the outside, and using that superior speed was able to beat the outside linebackers to the corner, get the first down at their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10. And Big Red, once I think they get used to the speed of Pettigrew, we'll see that maybe that sweep will be shut down a little bit.
Reno Salkoch said this week that Pettigrew is the best running back they've seen, that they will see this season. It says he has great vision, great moves.
Wow.
Hand off to the fullback, and he gets popped. Bronco Busick timed that thing perfectly, and that's going to be a loss of 2 or 3.
That's why it's going to be so hard to run against this Big Red defense. They're going to start crowding the line of scrimmage. We know that Cuyahoga Valley doesn't throw the ball much. They're primarily a running football team. And if you want to be successful against Big Red, Don, I really believe you need to have a balance between running and passing. And Cuyahoga Valley needs to be able to throw the ball if they intend to be successful against Big Red.
How little have they thrown it? Just 40 times in 10 games. 4 times a game. They've only completed it 17 times. Pettigrew to the top side. He's going to get a couple.
Excellent defense on the perimeter by Steubenville Big Red that time. They were able to turn it back to the inside. Number 23 for Big Red, Jeremy Banks, was able to turn it in. And once he turned it in, those inside linebackers flowing very well to the play, were able to hold it to a very short game. Puts Cuyahoga Valley in a situation they don't like to be in, 3rd and long, because it's primarily a throwing down now, and we'll see what they can do with the pass now as they open up their offense a little bit.
Hay in the gun. This is Pettigrew. Bounces to the outside. He's going to be near the sticks. I think they're going to mark him just a shade short. I'll have to check on the measurement. But ironically, the last team that beat Big Red in the playoffs was Thornville Sheridan, and they didn't throw the football.
But Thornville Sheridan really had some stud offensive linemen. They did a lot of option stuff, and their fullback, as I recall in that game, and we did it from Coshocton, if I'm not mistaken, they controlled the ball, and they were able to keep it away from the Big Red offense more than anything else. And right now we're going to see Cuyahoga Valley go for it on 4th and less than 1 at the Big Red 45-yard line.
Hay up under center. Pettigrew deep in that backfield. And you're going to have movement. I think it's on Cuyahoga Valley.
It's going to be against Cuyahoga Valley. They had an interior lineman that moved. Now it's going to change the whole situation. Instead of going for it and being fourth and less than 1, it's going to be fourth and a little more than 5. So it's going to put them into a punting situation at midfield.
Josh McLeod in single safety for the Big Red.
Okay.
So here's the punting attempt for Cuyahoga Valley. And remember, anytime you talk about Big Red, that ability to block punts, I believe Stevie Davis up on that top side. He is so deadly coming off the edge. And it's a line drive kick. McLeod at his 15 to the 20. Picks up the block. He's across the 30. They're going to call a clip on that.
There's the fumble.
Ball on the ground, and Cuyahoga Valley's got it.
Not a very auspicious start for the Big Red offense. Begin with a block in the back and then a fumble on the return. Cuyahoga Valley gets it back in great field position inside the 35-yard line of Big Red.
It was Andrew Peterson with the recovery. Here's a look at the Doan Ford replay, Coach.
Here it is right here. McLeod does a good job. He fields the ball very, very cleanly. He's a good outside receiver. There's the illegal block. Right here, he cuts it back to the inside and has the ball stripped from him right there. Ball's on the ground, and number 51 for Cuyahoga Valley, that's Andrew Peterson, makes the recovery.
Zach Nettle, number 13, is the guy that stuck his hand in there and stripped it away. 1st and 10 on the 34. Jacob Hay up under center. Now Pettigrew, a wing down to the bottom. He'll go in motion. Takes the handoff, cuts it inside, and Pettigrew down to the 22-yard line, and he's got a first down for Cuyahoga Valley. Pettigrew's pretty impressive.
I tell you, he's a good runner. He's smooth. He has great vision. He made a good cut right there, and above all, has excellent speed. You know, once he makes that cut, you know, he's going full force right there, as you can see, and also he can run with a little bit of power.
Excellent block by Zach Butler, number 33. They cleared away, but you can see Pettigrew with some nice vision. The double wings again. This is Pettigrew down to the bottom. He comes in motion. Handoff. This is Kuzar, and he gets inside the 20 to the 19.
We're going to stick it inside every once in a while just to keep Big Red's defense honest. You know, and that way it gives Pettigrew a little more room to run to the outside. So number 42, Jared Kuzar, is a very, very important cog in this offense because he's got to keep the defenses honest by being able to run inside successfully out of this wing tee.
Called a gain of 4, brings up 2nd and 6. Backs are now split. There is a wing down to the bottom. Pettigrew. He gets hit hard. Anthony Gossett met him immediately at the 19-yard line.
A great hit by Anthony Gossett. Sends a message to Pettigrew, you know, hey, if you're going to walk on my sidewalk, you're going to have to pay the toll, my man. And that's exactly what happened.
Hollywood City Center red zone for the Royals of Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. They're looking at a 3rd and called a long 5 down at the 18.
The Big Red defense is so difficult to run against inside. If you're going to attack them, you have to attack the perimeter.
Hay in the gun, 2 sidecars, Kuzar and Pettigrew. They fake it to Kuzar, he throws it, and it is incomplete. Too tall, intended for Nate Hobson.
And I'll tell you, they had 2 receivers open there. Pettigrew was a short receiver in the flat. He was open right away. And that wide receiver that the ball was thrown to also had good position on the defensive back. If the ball would have been thrown to the outside, it may have been complete for the first down.
They'll attempt the field goal. Derek Bouchard is on to attempt it. Big Red also good at blocking kicks. There's a snap, and that kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. And Cuyahoga Valley, they strike first. 6:01 to go, first quarter. The Royals leading the Red 3-0 on the Vapor Jet scoreboard.
And he's a quick kid, as well as strong. Like I said, he spends a lot of time in the weight room. He's a track guy also, and he's put a nice season together.
Trainer Rick Hogue, thank you very much. Dawn, Rich, back to you.
And Big Red putting a nice kick return together. They get that out to the 36-yard line. Talking about Pettigrew, he has well over 4,000 yards rushing in his career, 1,800 this season. We've seen what he's done. Now, Big Red on offense for the first time tonight. Quarterback Dwight Macon, running backs Bronco Busick and Marky Markakis, Banks, Davis, and McLeod. Your receivers, Radakovich, Fry, Gilmore, Dunn, and Weber. The O-line, 1st and 10 for the Red on their own 35-yard line. Buster Owens goes in motion, top side. There's the handoff. Demetrius Brandon, and he's going to get stuffed for a loss.
Cole Dietrich, defensive tackle, 6'2", 205 pounds, was the first one to meet him right there for a very short gain of 1.
2nd down 9.
Big Red, of course, has a nice blend of running and passing, especially play-action passing. Dwight Macon has made so much improvement over the course of the season. Does an excellent job at the quarterback position for Big Red.
2nd and 9, we'll call that a gain of a yard. Dwight Macon puts it up in. Nice catch by McLeod for the first down at the 48-yard line. Josh McLeod just threw one paw up there and ripped that thing down out of the air for the first down.
I tell you, Josh McLeod has improved a great deal also in a preseason scrimmage at the beginning of this year. He really showed what a good receiver he could be, and he certainly has done that over the course of the season for Big Red. Great hands, good concentration. He's a good route runner also.
Gossett and Davis down to the bottom. Brandon the sidecar next to Dwight Macon. Brandon now shifts to that top side. 1st and 10 on their own 47. Big Red's first offensive series. And Macon keeps it. Breaks about 3 or 4 tackles before the 4th guy brings him down back near the line of scrimmage.
You know, I wonder when the last year was that the quarterback for Big Red was the leading rusher for the Big Red. Dwight Macon is the leading rusher for Big Red this year. They've spread the ball around. He's rushed for 787 yards on the course of the year. With no 1,000-yard rusher, but Big Red and Coach Suckoch, his philosophy is to spread it around and give everybody a chance to handle the football.
And he had a $139 in that season ender against Cardinal O'Hara. Davis coming in motion down to the bottom. And you've got whistles. Timeout for Big Red. So 3:58 to go first quarter. Cuyahoga Valley leading Big Red 3-0 on the VaporJet scoreboard. We'll be back after this. Steubenville Big Red facing a 2nd and 11 as we're back to action. Davis coming in motion down to the bottom. Macon rolls that way. And he finds Davis. First down to the 39-yard line of Cuyahoga Valley.
Nice ball handling that time. A little bootleg action off of the tailback counters, as we saw right there. Macon rolled out this way, had plenty of time. Good block on the defensive end. They lost contain on him, and Davis was able to find the soft spot in that zone and curled up for the first down.
Brandon, the lone man in the backfield. Double tight. Macon, quick drop, finds McLeod. And another first down for Big Red down to the 25-yard line.
When you're playing that soft zone, you're giving up 10, 12 yards, and everything right now is being thrown in front of those defensive backs. I'm sure they're thinking, you know, we don't want to get beat deep by these speedy outside receivers that Big Red has, so they're giving them plenty of cushion, Don, and leaves all of those 10 to 12-yard hook patterns open.
McLeod's second catch on this drive.
Got to watch the tight end here.
They'll stay in the double tight. Brandon bouncing to the outside. He's at the 20, 15, 10, and knocked out of bounds to the 7-yard line. Nifty run by Demetrius Brandon for the Big Red first down.
Great cutback that time. Showed us some nice vision. There was nothing there for him on the right side. He made a good cutback to the left. Here it is right here. You can see this defensive end coming up. A lot of green right there. Good block by number 9. That was Anthony Gossett, and good strong running as you see right here by Demetrius Brandon.
First and goal to go in the 5. They're in the stack eye. Bronco Busick, and Busick gets thrown for a loss, and you don't see that very often.
Not very often. Jared Kuzar came through clean and was able to meet Busick before he got back to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss probably of maybe a yard or so it's going to bring up second and goal from about the 7.5-yard line.
And they're going to go out of that stack eye. New personnel grouping comes in. Davis, McLeod, and Demetrius Brandon in, and Owens, Markakis, and Busick check out.
They're in the gun, flanker and split end.
And Macon is good, keeping the football out of his formation, using his speed. And this is Macon there, and Macon gets down inside the 5 to about the 3.
It's going to bring up third and goal. Macon always a threat to run the ball and to pass the ball as well. So he's coming to the sideline for the next play.
Back to the stack eye.
And this is their red zone offense. They really like this formation. They like to give it to Busick off tackle.
And this is Bronco Busick. Touchdown, Big Red.
Excellent drive by Big Red. Throwing the ball, running the ball. That's the balance that you need to make it in the playoffs. And that was a good, solid drive that time by Steubenville Big Red.
And one of the big plays in that drive had to be that first down catch by McLeod.
Absolutely.
Went up and ripped it down with one hand.
And that's what you want to do, Don. You want to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers: Davis, McLeod, Macon, Busick.
There's the snap. The kick for Stover is up and good. And Big Red puts 7 on the board. 1:42 to go, first quarter. The Red leads the Royals. 7-3 your score. Steubenville Big Red just coming off a very impressive touchdown run as they grab the lead on a run. A very impressive touchdown drive. They grab the lead on a run by Bronco Busick. And Brennan Stover has the ball teed up, set to kick it off to the Royals. High short kick, filled it at the 20, out to the 30, and they take it out to about the 35-yard line where Cuyahoga Valley will take over on offense. Now those aren't hair rollers, Natalie.
They aren't hair rollers, and they have attachments. You can stick them to your car, too.
Pettigrew on a handoff top side. Natalie likes her hair rollers, though. So.
Pettigrew again, the ball carrier. A little power play off the right side, and Big Red's going to get a big dose of him, I think, on this evening. Here you can see it set to go off tackle. Good penetration that time by Devin Campbell. Forced it to the outside, and a good solid hit by Jeremy Banks.
Called a gain of 8. Hay now in that gun with the 2 sidecars, Kusar and Pettigrew. Bronco Busick showing blitz. Here's Pettigrew trying to get to the outside. And he does. He'll have the first down into Big Red territory.
I tell you, it looked like he was going to be thrown for a loss, and then he kicked it into second gear, was able to get around the corner and get the first down. Very, very impressive run by number 28, John Pettigrew.
It says 5'9", 180, but I'm telling you, he looks bigger than that. He's thick. He's built like a running back.
Most of his weight, as you can see, is from the waist down. He's big, strong, powerful legs and hips. And there he is, lined up now to the left of the quarterback.
1st and 10 at the 48 of Big Red. And you've got a flag.
Be a delay of game.
And that is indeed the call. He's shown good speed. Some of these plays, I didn't think he could get to the corner. I mean, you got James Montgomery there at the end who's got excellent speed. And that last play, I was surprised that Pettigrew was able to turn the corner.
And, number 23 also was there, Jeremy Banks. And Jeremy Banks has decent speed. And he was able to beat Jeremy Banks, around the corner. So, he's very, very impressive, has very good speed. And I can understand where Coach Sakoch is saying that he's one of the better running backs that they'll see all season.
1st and 15, so a loss of 5 for Cuyahoga Valley Christian. And they fake the handoff, quarterback rolling top side, unloads it, and that catch is made. And they're going to get probably just pick up about a 6 yards, so a yard past the original line of scrimmage, which would make it 7-9, or 2nd and 9, excuse me. And he throws very many balls like that, though, Coach, tonight. The way Big Red is ball hawking in the secondary, they'll be picked off. That does it. First quarter of play. Your score, Big Red 7, Cuyahoga Valley 3, by the count of 7-3. 2nd and 9. Toss Pettigrew, ball on the ground. And he falls on it, a costly loss of about 9 yards. Wow.
That was third and second about 9, and now it's going to be, they're going to be looking at third and about 20.
Question though, Coach. They called the timeout before that. I think maybe a halfback pass or something might have been up because Pettigrew.
I don't know. They called the timeout right away. They may have been in the wrong formation. Coach didn't like what he saw, and he wanted to get it changed as quickly as he could.
Because it looked like Pettigrew just took his eyes off the snap. There's the wraparound of Kuzar, and Kuzar gets to the 48. So he picked up the yardage they lost on that play. Brings up 3rd down.
Tell you, Kuzar's not a very big kid. He's only 5'8", 165 pounds, but he's a tough little kid. He runs inside very, very well. And also on that last series, Big Red's last offensive series, showed that he's a pretty good defender as well.
Here's the punting attempt. Stevie Davis to our near side. There's the snap. McLeod at his 20. Makes the first man miss. The second man makes the tackle, but he gets drugged 5 yards first to the 30-yard line. Interesting to watch Stevie Davis when he was rushing the punter at that time, and he's blocked so many punts. Normally you think of these guys, Davis in a speed, straight rush from the outside, but he hit. It was kind of like a defensive lineman used a spin move and tried to come inside.
Right. Yeah, he's so quick on that he can do that. It's not going to it's going to slow him down, but not to the point where it's going impeding from getting to the kicker if that's what he really wants to do.
1st and 10 for Big Red. 2 receivers down to the bottom. McLeod and Davis are both there. I believe that's Gossett, top side. Demetrius Brandon with the handoff, and Brandon fights for a couple.
Single back offense, the tailback counter coming back away from the action. Backside guard and backside tackle pull and try to create a path for that single back offense line in an I formation. There's probably the biggest kid that Cuyahoga Valley has, number 67. That's Keith McDonald, 6'2", 285.
2nd and 7, double tight. There's Brandon. Not much there. He gets to the 35.
And I think that's Kusar on the tackle again. Inside linebacker, very, very active. Flows to the ball very well. It's going to put Big Red into a 3rd and about 5 situation. And there's so many possibilities for Big Red in a situation like this. Dwight Macon is a danger to run as well as to throw. So, Cuyahoga Valley has to be very aware of where he is.
Macon fires. Anthony Gossett down the seam. Gossett, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Big Red.
Wow.
That's the route that they ran against Aurora a couple of times last year in the playoffs when Gossett had that huge game. Beautiful pass connection for the touchdown.
And I'll tell you, a great catch also. You're going to see it right here. He's going to run just straight down the hash mark. Macon's going to put the ball right there. Boom, nice catch. Good focus on the ball, good concentration. Then he's running away from the safety, and you can see right here he's going to take it into the end zone, first score, and what a big, dramatic play for the Big Red.
Extra point attempt for the Red. Snap placement, Stover's kick is up and good. So Big Red puts another 7 on the board. 9:17 to go. First half, Big Red leads at 14-3.
Bruce Watchman, what position were you?
Center.
Center?
Yeah.
So what do you think your predictions for this evening?
I think Big Red will kill him.
Think they'll kill him?
Yeah.
All right. Predictions from the classes. 73. Don, Rich, back to you.
Well, I don't know if it's a premonition or a prediction, but or it just happened. Bronco Busick leveled that kid.
I'll tell you, and you notice on Big Red special teams, they have a lot of their first-string defensive players. McLeod, Davis, Markakis, Busick, all of those good athletes, kids that are hitters and kids that can run.
1st and 10 on their own 26 for CVCA, Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. And off Kuzar. Buster Owens and company. Stuff that. Bronco Busick there as well.
Hard place to run right there. There's a lot of good defensive players inside. Number 63, Keith Gregory. Good size, 6 foot, 180. And Big Red's defensive line is always so aggressive, Don. You know, Brandon Fry also in there as well. You know, doing a great job. And they're very, very active. You'll notice a lot of times that they're in gaps and then they're angling out of those gaps. Number 34, Roland Owens, very good.
Pettigrew, and he gets snowed under. James Montgomery, Bronco Busick, Keith Gregory there.
Sort of getting used to Pettigrew's speed now and feeling a little more comfortable flowing to the ball. Cuyahoga Valley has not done anything yet as far as a counter or a misdirection play has been concerned. And maybe that's something that their coach is thinking about right now. Get Big Red flowing one way and then counter back against that.
3rd and 11 on their own 25. Hay in the gun, a pair of sidecars, 2 receivers down to the bottom. Giving the slot man plenty of room. Kuzar. Or actually, that's Pettigrew. Going to get to the corner. Big Red, excellent job stringing that out. Anthony Gossett coming up to make the hit.
And this is going to give Big Red excellent field position. Number 11, McLeod, is back to receive the punt. Here you're going to see Pettigrew taking the handoff out of that shotgun formation. And Big Red does an excellent job of defending the perimeter and not letting him turn the corner. And you can see who was that, number 9?
Yeah, Gossett.
Gossett came up, made a great hit.
Punter on the 15-yard line. Another line drive. McLeod fields it on the run. And he gets to the 45. Big Red will take over. 1st and 10 on the Cuyahoga Valley 45-yard line. But that's a blockable punt. Those are line drive punts. And
absolutely.
Don't be surprised if Big Red gets one later tonight. We'll take a break. 14-3, your score. Big Red, 14-3 your score. Demetrius Brandon kind of picks his way through. And nice little pickup. Good block by Marky Markakis over there along with Andrew Radakovich.
The Big Red offensive line does a great job. They come off the ball very, very quickly, do a lot of zone blocking, but they also do a lot of conventional blocking also, where they'll double team at the point of attack and kick out with a lead blocker.
2nd and 4. Now they've got the eye with Brandon to Markakis. 2 receivers to the top. Davis in the slot. Gossett all the way to the top. Brandon, big hole up the middle. Spin move, and he gets down to the 29-yard line. Excellent run by Demetrius Brandon. And I'm telling you, he's a youngster that came on. Remember that he had an excellent touchdown run in that opener against Indian Creek. Once the game started getting out of hand a little bit, he came in and really emerged. Had a beautiful long touchdown run in that game.
And I'll tell you, he's not a very big kid. He's only a junior, 5'8", 165 pounds. But again, he has good vision, good feet, and he's able to find the seam and make a cut into that seam.
He's another guy that's got better and better as the years gone on. Making in the gun. They swing it top side to Davis. Talk about your spin moves. Davis picks up the block, and he gets ridden out of bounds at the 20-yard line, close to the stick, but when the stick goes down, it's hard to tell exactly where he was. But
he's going to be a little bit short. He's going to be about a half a yard short of that first down marker. And I'll tell you, you give Davis this much room, and I'll tell you, he's going to be a real thorn in the side of that secondary for Cuyahoga Valley, as you can see right here. Not very big, but boy, I'll tell you, he's aggressive.
2nd and 1. Bronco Busick. There's the 1, and there's some more. Down to the 14, on a gain of 6.
That three-deep defense that Cuyahoga Valley is playing is very susceptible to the pass, especially when Big Red spreads them out. That time they had a twin formation over here to the left, and they had no one covering the inside receiver.
1st and 10 at the 14. Bankster tight end of the top side. Davis slot to the bottom. Gossett split all of the way out.
Watch Davis. Davis is being covered by a linebacker.
Busick dotting the I. Macon, Davis on a little bubble. Incomplete. Was a forward pass.
I'll tell you, had that ball been caught, Stevie Davis would have had a lot of room to run because Gossett was out here putting on a good block on the corner, and Davis would have been able to get behind that block and very, very possibly score, but the ball was incomplete. Will bring up 2nd and 10 from just inside the 15-yard line.
McLeod, Brandon, and Ryan Dugan check in. Two receivers to the top side. Handoff, and Brandon's going to be hit hard. Nothing doing there. Big Red in Hollywood City Center red zone.
Number 42, again, Jared Kusar came clean from the inside linebacker position and made that tackle.
And Cuyahoga Valley, not with a huge number of players. So, I mean, Kusar, he'll earn his keep.
A lot of those guys are playing both ways, Don.
McLeod to the top, trips down to the bottom. Jeremy Banks sandwiched between Gossett and Davis. Brandon the sidecar, Macon looking down to the bottom, slant, Davis to the 7.
It's going to bring up 4th down, and going to go for it or they're going to go for the field goal. It's a good call. They're right in the middle of the field. They're at about the 7-yard line. They'll kick it from about the 14. It'll be a 24-yard field goal, well within the range of Brennan Stover.
Gossett will hold, Stover will kick it. Snap, placement, kick. And it is no good. It's wide to the near side. So Cuyahoga Valley dodges a bullet there.
He hooked that one a little bit too much, went outside the left upright. So we're still at 14-3, but Big Red is really showing now that they can move the ball against this Cuyahoga Valley defense, especially throwing the football. They've been very, very successful.
November 16th at 6:30. Pettigrew. Sweep, top side. Pettigrew. Nice run. Should have a first down out to about the 35.
Again, pretty good defense by Big Red. They were able to defend the perimeter fairly well, but good, strong running by number 28, John Pettigrew. I'm going to see it right here. Here comes Kusar with a block on Bronco Busick, and you don't see that happen too often. And you don't see this happen too often. Stevie Davis missing a tackle.
A nice block downfield by their wide receiver. I mean, they took on a couple of there's movement on the Cuyahoga Valley offensive line, but as you say, they took on two of Big Red's top defenders, took on Busick and Davis.
Yep.
And as you say, Kusar making so many hits, so many plays on defense, then he's out there at fullback doing the same thing. I mean, play after play. I'm sure he'll be ready for this halftime break.
He's a very durable player, having to play the fullback position, Don, and also an inside linebacker position. You know, he's always in the center of the action.
And he's got the football now, and he got a dose of Buster Owens.
Excellent defense by the defensive line of Big Red. Jordan Banks in there, number 51. Number 34, Roland Owens. Number 63, Keith Gregory. Number 74, Brandon Fry. It's the front four, and they do a great job.
2nd and 15.
Got 8 people within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Looking to put it up, and it is incomplete. bringing up third down.
You know, Don, if Cuyahoga Valley had, you know, just a decent passing game, a good play action, you know, with Pettigrew, the threat that he is, if they could develop a play action passing game where their passing game would be, you know, in the intermediate area, 12 to 15 yards, this would be a really, really tough offensive football team. But, you know, their pass offense is very simplistic. That time it was a 2-receiver pattern, one going deep, one coming short, the wide receiver running deep and the inside receiver running it out. That was easy for Big Red to cover with their speed and the defensive secondary.
3rd and 15. There's Pettigrew again. And 3rd and long, gets about 2 and gets brought down by Banks. Jeremy Banks on the stop.
Jordan Banks defensively. Along with Bronco
Brings up
Houston.
4th down, and once again, maybe we'll see another one of these line drive punts from Cuyahoga Valley.
Tell you, Big Red has plenty of time left to try to get down and get another score. It's 2 minutes and 17 seconds, and they're a big play team, and they have a lot of big play players, guys that can make the plays. So, you know, Cuyahoga Valley has to be very, very careful here, not only punting the football, but when they go on defense, they've got to try as hard as they possibly can not to let Big Red get into the end zone for a touchdown, because then this game can get out of hand.
And Big Red does such an excellent job with that 2-minute offense. Natalie.
Hi, Don. I am here with Mr. Jimmy Davis, Stevie Davis's father. Now, Mr. Davis, we know Stevie has been in 2 state championships. Has he approached this playoff game any different than normal? Any differences you've seen in him?
No, not at all. He's just a team player, and he goes with the team and accelerates when he has to.
And what have you noticed? You know, how's it been in the house lately, getting ready for the big game?
Oh, getting his head in the door. How about that?
He's got a big head.
Especially when he did that, yes. Off the side of his foot, yeah.
You say he has good reason, though, right?
Yes. Yeah. No attitude, but he's okay.
He's okay. All right, Don, Rich, back to you.
Yeah, Stevie is okay. I didn't see. Did anybody get a hand on that thing?
I think number 33 for Big Red, Caleb Westlake, got in there and got a hand on the ball, and very, very short kick and went into about the 3rd row of the bleachers on the visitor's side. Ball is at the 31-yard line of Cuyahoga Valley.
You know, he just shanked it. Nobody touched it. But they've had the pressure so many times on him.
Well, they got trips out here now. Number 44 is normally a defensive end. He's now playing as a defender on the inside receiver.
Macon, Gossett
my.
to the 25. Gain of 6. No huddle. They'll hustle up and get ready for the next play. They've got Davis down to the bottom. Everybody looking in, Lyman and everybody for that play call. Now Banks is up to the top side in the slot. Macon fires. Ooh. Intended for McLeod, too tall.
Yeah, McLeod was there. Got into that seam against that 3-deep defense and was open, but Dwight Macon just slightly overthrew him and was not able to get him the ball for the completion. It's 3rd down and 4. They're in 4-down territory. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a run right here, Don.
And that would be Demetrius Brandon, who is the sidecar. Or a keep out of Macon. They almost drew them off sides. Well, you got 5 seconds in your play clock. The official put his hand up. Macon's going to keep it. He's got the first down and more. Macon to the 15, down to the 13-yard line. There you see what makes Dwight Macon so tough. He lets the play develop.
I tell you, and he's got great vision, good balance. Going to see him here. Doesn't look like, you know, there's really too much room to run, but, you know, you talk about Pettigrew's speed. Macon has nice speed also, and it was Pettigrew that made that tackle that held Macon from scoring a touchdown.
It's the old start and stop on a dime. 3 receivers to the top. Macon keeping again, straight up the middle. Down to the 1. Ball on the ground, but I think that was after he was down. Cuyahoga Valley says they have it, but I thought Macon was down. Officials are going to discuss this. They all get away from the pile.
Officials working for the hazard the initial contact.
They're saying Cuyahoga Valley's got it.
Oh, my. What a bad break for Big Red right there. They're on the verge of scoring with 1:05 left.
Let's take a look at it.
Here's Macon on the quarterback draw. Lowers his shoulder. And
No.
the ball did pop out before he fell in, or somebody got a hand in there and knocked it away.
Now, what's going on? I thought they said Cuyahoga Valley had the football, now Big Red was lining up on offense. Here's another look at it. Excellent defense. Well, from the first angle, looked like he got punched out. Take a look.
Right here. His knee is not down yet. Well, it may have been. It was hard to see from that angle because I couldn't see his knee.
Now, Big Red's offense is still out there, so they've got the football.
Another score broken into Local 14 on the way to nothing.
Cuyahoga Valley's coach is not real happy with this call.
First and goal to go in a 3. Stack eye. Owens drop man, then it's Montgomery and Brandon. Brandon up the middle. Touchdown, Big Red. Demetrius Brandon from 3 yards out gives Big Red some breathing room, putting another 6 on the board at 20-3.
Excellent job of running the 2-minute offense that time. Here you're going to see a nice cutback and into the end zone for the score.
There's another look at it.
You know, when you're in that stacked eye with a double tight formation, you know where the ball is going to go. It's going to go off tackle either over the right side or over the left side, but boy, I tell you, it's really hard to stop.
Stover's kick. That one is up and good. So 51 seconds to go first half. Big Red leads it. Their score, 21-3.
Updating the Steubenville Central.
Some of the youngsters having a good time here tonight at Harding Stadium. Open round playoff game between Big Red and Cuyahoga Valley Christian. Big Red is now reeled off 21 unanswered points.
Haggard, Utley, and Pettigrew back deep for the Royals.
Bouncing kick to the 15, 20. And coming down for the tackle on the special teams for Big Red, Jordan McIntyre.
Good coverage that time by Big Red special teams. Number 22 for Cuyahoga Valley, Alex Utley, was the returner. Under 45 seconds left to go, and I think that what we will see is Cuyahoga Valley just run out the clock, try to get to the locker room and regroup a little bit, especially defensively.
So 1st and 10 on their own 19 for Cuyahoga Valley. Handoff, Kuzar. And he's got the first down out to the 31-yard line.
Kuzar is really impressive, Don. I really like this kid. He's a real hard, tough-nosed kind of kid that handles all of the inside running and the lead blocking for Pettigrew, and also plays as an inside linebacker and has had some really good hits from his linebacking position.
The gun for Cuyahoga Valley. And they're looking to put it up. And you're going to have interference, though. Was it offensive or defensive?
I tell you, it might be offensive pass interference.
Trying to get the pass to Nate Hobson, who's 6'2".
Defensive coverage.
Patrick Gilbert on the coverage.
Offensive pass interference.
He kind of climbed over Gilbert's back.
Yes, he did.
Gilbert's only 5'6", it says in the program.
Yeah, he's all over him. Good defensive coverage by the Big Red secondary. Patrick Gilbert had the receiver covered all the way. Patrick Gilbert's only 5'6", 150, but you know when you play great position as a defensive corner, as Patrick did that time, you know you don't have to be very, very tall. You just have to have good technique, and he had great technique that time.
And that's program height. Isn't program height always an inch or two less?
I think so.
So here's the first down play, and they will take a knee, and that will do it for the first half from Harding Stadium. Steubenville Big Red will head to the locker room, having scored 21 unanswered points.
Because they just don't have the weapons to score, real quick.
And Dwight Macon, very impressive for his first playoff start, 7 of 9 passing in the first half. Wallace on the return, and he gets to the 27-yard line where Big Red will set up shop to start the second half of play.
50-yard return for Javon Wallace.
Dwight Macon, 7 of 9 passing, 126 yards in that first half.
And good balance, Don. They rushed the ball 15 times. They threw the ball 9 times, so they have a nice balance between the run and the pass.
Davis and McLeod to the bottom. Brandon, the lone back. Brandon, the handoff. And forward progress might have got him a few inches.
Not much there. Good defense that time. He tried to cut it back, but the defensive left side of Cuyahoga Valley did a good job of staying along the line of scrimmage and not chasing that play and giving him any cutback lanes to get to. So good first down defense by Cuyahoga Valley. It's going to bring up second and about 9 yards for Steubenville Big Red.
So 2nd and 9, Big Red on its own 27-yard line. Macon is going to turn it up. And he gets to the 35-yard line. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down, bring up 3rd and 2.
It's one thing you don't see Big Red do a lot of, run the option, but that was a down-the-line option. And Macon read it very well. He didn't want to take the chance of pitching the ball, so he kept the ball, turned it up, got a good solid gain of about 8 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. Markakis checks into the ball game here, Don, so he's going to line up at the fullback position and see if he's going to be able to lead this ball carrier to a first down out of this stacked eye.
Bronco Busick dots it. And it is Bronco, and he's going to be hit and thrown for the loss.
He's going to be hit for a loss is right.
Makes it 4th and 2. Stevie Davis will come on for the punt.
You don't see that very often. Bronco Busick being held for being thrown for a loss on that. But good defense on this first series by Cuyahoga Valley. We'll see what they can do with it once they get the ball back.
And you don't see Big Red with a 3 and out to start a half very often.
Not very often. Wow, nice kick.
Nice punt. Good special teams tackle back at the 20-yard line. I believe that was Markakis. Actually, over there it was Isaiah Willis. We will take a break. Be back with more after this. And we are back at Harding Stadium. Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, their first offensive possession of the second half. And handoff to the second back through, and he never did get through.
A lot of penetration that time by Big Red's defensive front. Markakis came from his inside linebacker's position, made good penetration, and they also had good penetration from the left side. You can see here they're trying to run a little belly action with a fake to the fullback and then a give to Pettigrew, and nothing doing because number 23, Jeremy Banks, was there to make the hit.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 on the 19. Here comes Pettigrew, and it gets brought down in the backfield. Marky Markakis flies in to make the stop.
That Big Red's defense being real active now, very, very aggressive. They're going after them. They pretty much know that Cuyahoga Valley cannot, throw the ball very, very well. So they're going to come after them. They're going to have 8 people in the box, and they're going to send people after Pettigrew and company.
3rd and 15. Jacob Hay up under center. Kuzar and Pettigrew line up behind him in the backfield. And Kuzar met by Buster Owens, and another loss.
Again, that was a disastrous series for Cuyahoga Valley. 3 plays, 3 losses. They start out 1st and 10. They're going to end up 4th and about 16. And I'll tell you, Big Red should get very, very good field position on this, Don. They're going to be kicking from inside their own 5-yard line, so Big Red should get it at least on Cuyahoga Valley's side of the 50.
Davis down to the bottom. He won't rush, but up the middle, Bronco Busick almost got it. And it will take a Cuyahoga Valley bounce, and Big Red will take over on the 47-yard line of Cuyahoga Valley. And Dwight Macon's pass is incomplete. So Sunday Night Football tonight right here on WTOV9, a triple header, if you will, with a break in the middle. We've got the Big Red game, followed by the Steubenville Central game, and then the NFL tonight with the Eagles and the Cowboys. You saw Tony Romo there, just signed a nice big contract earlier this week, and I don't know. It depends on which TV show you watch. He's either dating Carrie Underwood or Britney Spears. Anyway, 2nd and 10 on the 47. And he's got Jerry Jones's money. Davis in motion down to the bottom. Macon rolls near side, looking squares, and finds Gossett. Couldn't hang on to it.
Ball thrown just a little bit behind him. He, reached back for it, and just couldn't handle it. Found the seam right there, got into the open seam, Macon delivered the ball, but just a little bit behind him, and the ball falls incomplete and bring up 3rd and 10. Here it is right here. He's got plenty of time to throw, and just off of Anthony Gossett's hip for an incompletion.
Looking at play, the Macon was very patient, got his shoulders squared, made a good, strong throw. He's really developing into a fine quarterback for the Red.
And he's only a sophomore.
2 receivers down to the bottom. 1 up top side. Macon looking. McLeod. Can he make the man miss? Yes, he can. Ooh, then he gets thrown down hard at the 39. Coming over to seal the deal, Jarrett Kuzar.
He's going to be short by about 2 yards, so it's going to bring up a 4th and 2 inside the 40. And I'm sure the Big Red's going to go for it, being up 21-3. We see a little play action here out of Macon.
Well, they've got Davis and Gossett up to the top. Macon keeps it. Turns the corner, and he's got the first down. He's going to get rode hard out of bounds at the 27.
Good run by Macon that time. Pettigrew had to come up from the safety position to make the tackle. But a good, strong run by Dwight Macon, the sophomore quarterback for Steubenville Big Red. Just a quarterback sweep to the right side. Good blocking by the offensive line that time. You can see big number 56 in there, Richard Dunn, one of the offensive linemen in there for Steubenville Big Red, along with Radakovich. And, of course, that whole line is anchored by Phil Gilmore at center, number 54.
I formation. Hand off, Brandon. He kind of squirts through to about the 21-yard line.
There's a flag that comes in. We're going to see what the call is. We'll wait for the official to give a preliminary signal. It was thrown by the linesman. It's holding against Big Red, so that's going to cost him 10. from the spot of the foul.
And we had just said that Big Red in the first half had not been penalized at all.
And I'll tell you, they don't hurt themselves very often with penalties, Don. They're very, very disciplined. They make sure that they keep their mouths shut on the field. You don't hear too much trash talking out of Big Red. Very, very few unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against them, and they play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
1st and 17 at the 34. Macon coming near side. I think he's going to run it. Yes, he does. And he gets down to the 27-yard line, but his ability to start and stop on a dime is pretty fun to watch.
Very elusive. And at the beginning of the season, everybody was wondering, how do you replace a guy like Colares, the quarterback that Big Red had last year that took him to the state championship game and the eventual state championship victory. And, Macon is only a sophomore, and looked rough at the beginning of the season. But as I said earlier, his development has been really very, very good over the course of the season. And Mike Haney, as a quarterback coach, give him a lot of credit for working with this kid.
2nd and 11, Demetrius Brandon to the 22.
Demetrius Brandon off the left side.
Clock under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Your Huntington Bank score bar.
Adam Podolek defensively.
Big Red chewing up yards and chewing up clock.
Roland Owens checks into the Big Red lineup. He'll be aligned at
Third down 5 after gaining 6.
the fullback position, but offset to the right.
Davis in motion, top side.
Oh my, he's going to be open.
Look at Brandon. To the 15 and down to the 12. Boy,
That'll give him a
that was
first
a
down.
nifty little run.
Touchdown inside the 13.
And there's a kid that'll be returning next year, Demetrius Brandon, number 28. And he's come out of nowhere. Bronco Busick was doing the bulk of the ball carrying at the beginning of the year, Don, and they turned into a more of a power football team, with Busick at the tailback position, and he did a great job. But then number 28 came on the scene, Demetrius Brandon, and he's done a good job at that position. We have a flag thrown here, and I'm not exactly sure what it is.
One of these huddle deals, because Roland Owens came off late. They probably had 12 men in the huddle.
Illegal substitution then.
Now they're going to
wave it off.
Oh, Big Red asked for the timeout. Let's take a break. 4:03 to go. Third quarter, Big Red up 21-3. Sure, I think they make. And welcome back. We've got 4:03. Big Red knocking on the door. 1st and 10 on the 13. Hand off Demetrius Brandon, and he fights his way down to the 8. Big Red is in the Hollywood City Center red zone. Natalie.
Hey, Dawn, I am here with a middle school student who has been begging me the entire game. Every time I walk by, please, please, please interview me. And the reason he wants me to interview him, he says he is Big Red's biggest fan. It's Mr. Justin Coursey. And you said your dad's been taking you to the game since you were how old?
3.
3 years old, okay, and you're 12 now, right? So why would you say you're the biggest Big Red fan?
Because Big Red is like the best team in the Ohio Valley, and they're 50-0 in the regular season, and they're 40-0 in consecutive games.
All right, he knows his stuff, guys. Don Rich, back to you.
Bronco Busick on the carry for Big Red, and he gets down about the 6-yard line.
Butler and Joe Patika defensively.
Busick running a little tailback counter that time.
Third down 3.
And, always leaning forward, always running forward. And this is going to bring up a 3rd and 3 so they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Have 2 downs to make 3 yards.
And Macon hands it off. Brandon, touchdown, Big Red. His second touchdown of the night.
I tell you, that offensive line, they just get body on body, keep their legs moving, keep their feet moving. Always moving ahead, and look at the nice block by Owens, number 34, and then a nice cut by number 28, Demetrius Brandon, for the score. Nothing fancy, just a lot of good solid blocking, as you can see right there. Good turnout block by the left tackle, Radakovich. Good down block by the left guard, and a good lead block by the fullback.
Stover's kick is up, and it is good. We've got 2:41 to go, third quarter. Big Red leads it 28-3 on the Vapor Jet scoreboard.
And there's only 2:41 left in the third quarter.
Little squib kick, fielded by an up man at the 30 to the 40, and Cuyahoga Valley takes over on its own 43-yard line with 2.5 to go in the third quarter.
Excellent field position for Cuyahoga Valley. That was number 33 on the return. That was Zach Butler. A little squib kick that he fielded cleanly and was able to get it up in good field position at their own 43-yard line. Cuyahoga Valley is not a team that I don't think is good in playing when they're behind. They're primarily a run-oriented team, and as a result, we'll see what they can do with it here.
Pettigrew lined up a quarterback that time, and the direct snap to him is going to get a couple. Bronco Busick on the tackle.
Wow, did Bronco Busick come over there quick? This Big Red defense is so quick. They have some nice size in some positions, but basically, they're an average-sized football team, but all of these guys run to the football very, very well. Here's Pettigrew. He's taking a direct snap and then looking to run here. And watch Busey come into the picture. Good open field tackle.
Jacob Hay in the gun. Now Pettigrew is that sidecar. He'll take the handoff, trying to get outside, but has to go way deep. McLeod over there for the tackle. You're going to have a flag. Looks like a late hit on Big Red.
I tell you, there were 3 or 4 people right there in black jerseys, and McLeod was the widest one. Everybody played their position very, very well, and he played it extremely well. He didn't try to attack Pettigrew. He just kept on feathering him to the outside until he just ran out of room to run and ran into the sideline.
Face mask.
What's a mistake you won't see Big Red make very often? It was probably an inadvertent face mask on Pettigrew. But good defense all the way around by Steubenville Big Red. Number 51 checks out. It's Jordan Banks. Number 55, Ryan Dugan, checks in for Steubenville Big Red.
Pettigrew a wing down to the bottom of the screen. You've got a timeout for Cuyahoga Valley. You can see highlights from throughout the season. Also log on and vote for the Big 22, who you think are the top 22 players in the Ohio Valley and who you should think should be this year's Player of the Year. Pettigrew, the handoff.
Nothing.
Among those making the stop, William Jackson. Just not enough dimensions to this Cuyahoga Valley offense. The field goal they got was because of a fumbled kickoff by Big Red.
And Pettigrew had some success running in that first series. Whack. Oh, my Lord. Number 34, what a nice hit. That was Roland Owens.
Bronco Busick on the inside blitz, and they're putting it up, and, well, the receiver ran a different route than the quarterback was throwing to.
Well, the quarterback was throwing just a takeoff route to the wide receiver down the sideline, and the wide receiver was running a post pattern. So just a miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver on that side. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Putting Pettigrew out here as a receiver in the slot.
Wraparound handoff to Kusar. Ryan Dugan wraps him up.
Sheriff pushed off slow injury. Ryan Dugan.
Number 22 also in there on a tackle. That was James Montgomery.
Excellent penetration
Jordan McIntyre.
all night by the Big Red defensive front. Number of tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
They become much more aggressive defensively. And I'm speaking by Big Red in the second half, Don. They've really been making a lot of penetration, sending linebackers, trying to make some penetration and get to those ball carriers before they could get to the perimeter.
And Big Red takes over on its own 25. Got
What am I doing here? With that kind of analysis,
I'm
you should be
telling
in the
you.
booth.
Anthony Gossett. Look at Gossett. He gets knocked out of bounds at the 45. That'll do it for the third quarter of play. Big Red, 3 quarters in the books, and they lead it 28-3. Start the fourth quarter with Big Red leading by the count of 28-3. Coming up later on the next level fighting hit of the game. Macon rolling near side, pumps, fires, Gossett. He's to the 40, 30, and out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
Anthony Gossett receives the
Tell these
pass.
wide receivers do such a good job of just finding the soft spot in the zone. And Dwight Macon does an excellent job of just throwing the ball to them once they're in those open areas. And here you can see Gossett shows a nice little move of speed here. And you can see Pettigrew is the one that has to take him out of bounds.
1st and 10 of the 26. Brandon, nice little hole up the middle, and he gets to the 17, but there'll be a flag on the play.
That was thrown by the referee and from
Holding.
the back, so we'll see if it was holding. It sure was.
Alex Sunday on the stop.
You know, and I mentioned at the half, Don, that Steubenville doesn't make too many penalties and so on. They didn't have any penalties in the first half. This is the second major penalty they've had in this half. One, an unsportsmanlike grabbing the face mask. This time, a holding penalty.
And that will back them up to the 38-yard line. The winner of this game moves on to take on the winner of the Canton Central Tusky Valley game. And of course, that Canton Central game last time was a classic that Big Red pulled out on the final play of the game. Stevie Davis in motion down to the bottom of the screen. Handoff to Demetrius Brandon. Brandon spins, and he's going to be stopped his forward progress at the 35.
And of course, my man from Cuyahoga Valley, Jared Kusar, on the tackle. He's having a big, big game.
Yeah, he needs to play football somewhere at some level on the next level. He is he's a football player.
Yes, he is. He and Pettigrew are very, very good. Would like to see them play, as you mentioned, Don, on another team like Big Red, because I'm sure that they would fit into that mold.
Macon, and you've got a flag over the far sideline.
Play blown dead.
The procedure against Big Red. You can't mention anything more about no penalties.
Dead ball, lost start on the offense.
Well, we don't know who it was, but that offensive line has done a great job. The left tackle is Radakovich, and Brandon Fry is in there at one of the offensive lineman positions, number 76, Mike Weber, we already mentioned. Gilmore at the center position.
2nd and 24. 2 receivers to the bottom. Davis will join them, but timeout Cuyahoga Valley.
Interesting.
Timeout Royals.
And we'll take a timeout as well. 10:15 to go in the ball game. Big Red leads at 28-3. Red leads at 28-3. They are facing a 2nd and 24 after a couple of penalties. Davis in motion down to the bottom. Dwight making rolls that way. Looking, firing. McLeod can't hang on to it.
Oh, boy. Tell you, he was wide open again. He found that little soft spot in that 3-deep zone. Hooked it up at about 10 to 12 yards. Ball thrown a little bit high. McLeod just wasn't able to handle it. Number 11 for Cuyahoga Valley was over there, Joe Patika, to do the coverage. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 24 for Big Red.
Let's see. Davis goes top side, trips to the bottom. McLeod, Banks, and Gossett. Brandon is your sidecar. Everybody looking to the near sideline for the play call. Cuyahoga Valley showing blitz from the bottom. Macon steps up, and he's going to get brought down. Going to have
Another
a flag,
flag.
too. Probably a hold on the red.
The 44, and there's a flag.
And who's walking away from the pile? Number 42. Jared Kusar came from his inside linebacker's position to force
Butler, Kusar, defensive.
It's a
Macon
hold.
to step up into the pocket, but got sacked when the pocket collapsed.
On the offense.
Penalty declined, so Big Red will be forced to punt.
The holding penalty declined by the Royals. Was a 4th down.
Big Red led at 7-3 after a quarter, 21-3 at the half,
Going slowly in single safety. Still Davis.
28-3 after 3 quarters, and that is where we are now. Davis's last punt was a monster. We'll see what he does here.
Wow.
Another beautiful punt from Stevie Davis. And it's out of the 11-yard line. This is where Cuyahoga Valley will take over. And we will take a break. 28-3 Big Red, 10 minutes to play. Cuyahoga Valley takes over, 1st and 10 on its own 11. Fusing flies in there and blows that play up. John Glenn game last year. It was the one where he twice flew in like that and had the quarterback tackle before he could make the handoff.
Yeah. I'll tell you, he times it perfectly. You can see it right here. He comes in untouched.
He's got a
Actually, he had both of them. He wasn't sure who was going to have the ball, so he had a hand on each one of them, and then finally took the ball carrier down for a loss of a couple, so it'll bring up 2nd and about 11.
That was a great look. One arm around the quarterback, one arm around the running back, just in case. And Buster Owens flipping bodies around down on that line. That was Kuzar. There's Buster.
I tell you, this half Don Big Red has just simply taken over. That's a good word. Has simply taken over the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. They've run the ball well, and they have contained Cuyahoga Valley's offense.
Third and 11. There's Pettigrew. He's got some running room. Pettigrew to the
Look
30. Pettigrew 40. Across midfield. And he's going to go 90 yards for the touchdown. On
Wow.
3rd and 11.
They can't make Coach Suckoch too very, very happy.
90-yard touchdown run. 90 yards.
Had him in a 3rd and long situation, and you know, this kid sooner or later, you got to figure he's going to break one, right? And he sure did right there. You're going to see it here. He gets to the corner. Everybody's sealed to the inside. I watch him break a couple of tackles right here. Runs through a tackle right there, McLeod. Then we have a couple
Step
guys
arm.
that have a shot at him right there. Makes a little move to the inside right here. And then watch him stretch it out, Don, with great speed. He just runs away from those Big Red defenders.
And And the extra point was good. That makes your score 28-10 with 8:26 to play in this one. Natalie Attired. I'm telling you, I've heard that somewhere before. There's the kickoff. Wallace, he goes down at the 25. So here comes the Big Red offense coming back out.
I don't know if he went down so that he wouldn't get up in that crowd and very possibly fumble the ball on a hit or something like that. But Big Red has the ball at the 25-yard line. See if they can move it. Still have their starters in there with tight end Jeremy Banks. Been kind of quiet tonight, so we'll see if they're going to use the tight end at all on this series.
Macon got his man top side, Anthony Gossett, and he's across midfield to the 46-yard line.
I tell you, that's just like a lateral, Don. You throw it out there, you let your playmaker, give your playmaker a chance to make a play. Anthony Gossett, good hands, good concentration, catches the ball, makes a move on the defender, and gets it up over the midfield at about the 46-yard line of Cuyahoga Valley, getting themselves out of a hole.
High set. Demetrius Brandon, and Brandon shakes the man loose, and he gets down to the 39-yard line, and very rarely does the first man bring Brandon down. Brandon, a hard runner, always fights for that extra yardage.
And he's very shifty. He's able to change directions very quickly. Always keeps his feet moving. Takes short strides, which makes it very difficult for him to be knocked off his feet.
2nd and 3, strike up the band. Brandon, he's got the first down. I'm telling you, he's not very big, and he'll run into a swarm of bodies. You think he's down, and next thing he wiggles his way out and gains a few more yards.
Well, his size is an advantage or it's a disadvantage. When you got those big offensive linemen, you have a little tailback like that, he has a tendency to be able to hide behind those guys, and when he sees a little seam, he's able to make a move very, very quickly, find the seam, and get upfield.
And he's really emerged and taken that opportunity, made the best of that opportunity to play. Remember Tamale McGee, the standout last year. Before that, McGee and and Presley the year before.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Big Red for delay of game. And they want to keep the clock moving. I'm sure that they're going to try to keep it on the ground as much as they possibly can, move the sticks and get down and score.
Davis in motion. Macon rolls that way, picks up a block, fires it. Incomplete, intended for Anthony Gossett.
The one thing I like about Big Red, and I've said this so many times, Don, you can probably count on one hand how many different plays Big Red has run tonight. They've run the blast play both ways. They've run the stretch play a little bit. They've run a little bootleg action with Macon. They've run the quarterback draw, and that's been about it. They haven't run too much more than that, and they do a great job of just technique, fundamentals, and getting the job done.
2nd and 15, Macon unloads. Davis, he gets drilled. Pass is incomplete down at the 17-yard line.
Well, I tell you, that was a great hit on Davis, and you don't see that happen too often, him dropping the ball.
And he's catching his wind. He's shook up a little bit
Yes,
after that.
Is. And Coach Sakosh probably should get him out of there for a blow.
Let a look at it.
Here it is right here. Stevie Davis is fearless, going across the middle. Number 5, that's Andy Hoffman, put a heck of a hit on him and popped the ball loose.
There he is. He's up.
He's not going to be out long. This kid is tough.
3rd down, 15.
I always hear about boxers in that term, pound for pound, the toughest this, the toughest that. Pound for pound, he's got to be one of the toughest football players.
I tell you,
you're gonna meet.
he's Big Red's answer to Hector Macho Camacho.
3rd and 15. This is Gossett. Brandon somehow gets through that and gets out to the 30-yard line. He would have easily been thrown for a loss and somehow fights through that. Boy, I tell you what, these Cuyahoga Valley kids come flying in, and they're always looking to make the big stick.
They do, and I tell you, they've done a good job. You know, here it is. Here, you know, kids are still playing real hard. 4th quarter, you know, they're down by 18, but you know they're not giving up. That's why they're here. They're a playoff football team, and they're doing a good job of playing defense right now.
And that was number 44, Stephen Hudson, a good-looking junior, 6'3", 205, that finished that play up. 6:20 to go. Big Red facing a 4th down when we come back. 4th and 11 for the Reds. 6:20 to play. Dwight Macon in the gun. Bronco Busick lined up as a sidecar. They've got McLeod and Banks to the bottom. 2 receivers up to the top. Gossett and Davis. Macon steps up, and he's going to be ripped down. The sack, and Jared Kuzar continues his huge night.
And I'll tell you, give the secondary credit for that sack. That was a covered sack. There was nobody open. Macon had to hold the ball a little bit too long. The pocket collapsed and was thrown for a loss, was sacked. So Cuyahoga Valley will take over at their own 33-yard line with 6:15 left to go in this ball game, and being down by 18, 28-10.
So the Royals take over on their own 33, 1st and 10. And we've got a flag, and Big Red was showing blitz, and I think Cuyahoga Valley might have moved.
They might have flinched a little bit. We'll see.
But who could blame them?
Or we'll see if Big Red got into the neutral zone prior to the snap.
Encroachment, so offsides Big Red.
Big Red is penalized 5 yards.
Pettigrew set out here on the wing. Now Don's going to motion. A little handoff to him, a little sweep that way. And
on 1st and 5, he'll pick up about 3 and a flag, and then you're going to have a late hit or something on Big Red on that far sideline.
James Montgomery defensively, there is a flag.
And as we said before, I mean, that's a deceptive sideline over there. There's not much room.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. First down.
I tell you, Coach Sutcotch can't be too happy with the penalties here in the second half. You know, there have been some major penalties. I think at least 3, maybe 4, in this particular half, and that's something that he's going to have to address with his squad as they continue into this playoff hunt.
Pettigrew, stiff arm, shot runs one guy, gets through Davis, and it gets brought down by Keith Gregory.
I tell you, he ran a long, long way and gained about 2 yards. Well, actually, he gained about 1. Good job by Davis coming up out of his safety spot to force that back to the inside, and then was able to let the pursuit catch up with it. Here it is on the replay, on the Doan Ford replay. Good solid hit by number 63, Keith Gregory.
And Pettigrew learned somewhere along the way how to stiff arm, because he's got that art down to a science.
Jacob Hay, the quarterback.
Pump fake, looking to put it up, and James Montgomery coming up with the sack.
Well, and that's a big one, too. That's going to be a loss of about 8. It's going to bring up, went from a 3rd and 9 I'm sorry, from a 2nd and 9 to a 3rd and 17. He had a receiver open out there, but, Dawn, when you concentrate on the running game so much and you don't spend too much time on the passing game, you don't have the timing, between the quarterback and the receivers. He should, he took a 3-step drop. He looked at his receiver, should have let the ball go right away, held it a little bit too long and took the sack.
3rd and 17. Pettigrew trying to turn the corner. He does. And he gets down about the 37, 38-yard line, and he just goes around that corner and he gets his shoulders squared and turns it into 3rd and 4th gear.
But you know what? He does a nice thing. He dips to the inside, so those outside defenders, their perception is that he's going to turn it up inside. They make a little move to the inside, and then he uses that speed to just bounce it then to the outside, get around the corner, and this is going to bring up a 4th and about 6.
I'll tell you what, there was no overhyping this kid. Pettigrew's the real deal.
Yes, he is.
Looking to put it up. Hay fires. Stevie Davis, interception. Big Red at the 10-yard line. 20. And Davis trying to pick up some help, and he's just going to go down back at the 25-yard line.
I tell you, he had a receiver open. It was about 4 or 5 yards behind Stevie Davis, but the ball was short. Davis, made a good play on it, stayed in the middle of the field as he should as a free safety, and was able to go up for the interception. 3:47, and that may be it for Cuyahoga Valley. But you can see that he had a defender open back there, or a receiver open. You can see Davis here using his shiftiness and his vision, trying to find an open area. This is Steve Davis. He was hurt a little earlier. Took a real hard hit on an incomplete pass.
And he didn't stay out long. I think he missed the one play that he had to miss. And he was back in there. Big Red putting some substitutions in with 3:47 to go in the 4th quarter. And Natalie.
Hey, Dawn, Rich, I'm actually here with Mr. Zach Colares, former Big Red football player, now at Cincinnati. So before we get an update on you down in Cincinnati, you got to tell me, what do you think so far about what you're seeing here at this playoff game?
I think it's great. 41 in a row now, getting ready for 42 next week. I wish I could be at the next 2, but I can't.
So, okay, that brings us to my next question. An update on how things are going at school.
It's going great. I'm working real hard in school. I'm trying to stay on top of that and practicing just for the home games, but the away games, I try to come home and watch Big Red.
That explains why I've seen you here. All right, Zach, thanks very much. Dawn, Rich, back to you.
Natalie. And we have a flag on the play.
I think we're going to see maybe a face mask against Cuyahoga Valley. We'll see what referee Tom Guzowski calls personal foul.
I'd like to hear what Zach thinks of the job Macon has done.
Yeah.
How Macon has progressed.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach kind of would have a unique perspective on that. Take a look here, Anthony Pirro and a quarterback.
There's a face mask all the way. Pulls him down by the face mask. A lot of new numbers in there for Big Red. And we'll try to pick them up as we go along. Some of them we may not even have on the program. We don't even have a number 7 on the program, but we know that that's Anthony Pirro.
And William Jackson on the carry for a couple.
Number 84, Sage Kutry is in there at a tight end. Big number 61, Dylan Clayton checks into the lineup. Number 35, William Jackson in there right now. I think I saw number 30, Zach Harath is in there as well.
Second and 8 man goes in motion, top side. Jackson, some good positive yardage to the 48. He'll be a yard shy of the first down.
Josh Sterling is in there, number 62, or one of the interior lineman positions. Number 52, I think, Jamie Duvall is in at center.
Third and a yard. And they keep it on the sneak.
They'll maintain possession. Number 15, David Anderson, checks into the lineup. Number 75, Trey Terry, in for Big Red at one of the offensive lineman positions. Also, number 67, Pat Gary, is in at one of the interior lineman positions.
Brandon Carroll in motion, handoff, Javon Wallace. And he gets to the 47.
And number 42 makes a good hit there, right there, Jared Kusar for
Natalie.
Well, you know what, Dawn, I could not end the game without letting you meet this little guy. It is his first Steubenville Big Red football game. How old?
3 months.
Jacob?
Jacob Michael Christopher Gardner.
What's he think so far? What do you think?
You know what? He's going to be a tight end someday.
He's going to be a tight end. All right, Don, Rich, back to you.
You better get that ear covered up. Can't have that right ear sticking out. It might get cold tonight.
We're down under 1 minute now, Don. So, it looks like Big Red is going to move on to the next week in their quest for another state championship. And you'll probably know later tonight who their opponent will be.
Well, Canton Central and Big Red ought to be a dandy rematch. That was a classic last week, or when they played week 9, rather. Brandon Carroll goes in motion. Javon Wallace, a hard run to the 35-yard line. And we'll find out, we'll tell you on News 9 at 6 where that game will be played, as well as all the other games involving area teams in the second round of the Ohio playoffs, as well as the first round of the West Virginia playoffs. Handoff, run up the middle, down to about the 27.
That was Trey Wiggins. That should be the last play of the game, Don.
Step 1 is in the books for the 2-time defending Ohio Division III state champion Steubenville Big Red as they embark on the Ohio Division IV playoffs this year in what may be one of the toughest regions that you're going to find in the state of Ohio. You've got Canton Central Catholic up next, Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary, Cardinal Mooney. A pretty doggone tough region for Big Red. So they pick up the win by a 28-10 final. First game for Dwight Macon as a playoff quarterback, and does it for a game of the week between Steubenville Big Red and Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Your final score: Big Red 28, Cuyahoga Valley 10.
Ready, break.